Welcome, graduands, family and friends, to this very special occasion here at the O2 Guildhall, Southampton. It is a great pleasure, as Vice President of the University of Southampton, to declare open this ceremony for the conferment of awards. Today we are recognising and honouring every one of you as graduands from the schools of Physics and Astronomy, Chemistry and Chemical Engineering, Mathematical Sciences, Economics, Gerontology, and from the University of Southampton Business School. On behalf of the University and my colleagues here today, let me be the first to offer my warmest, and I mean warmest, congratulations to you all. Graduations are primarily celebrations, and I'm sure that everyone here today is very much in the mood to celebrate. And it is important that we do celebrate. You have all achieved much in your time with us. Your degrees have been hard-earned and have required your dedication and application. Graduations also provide an opportunity for all of us to look forward and backward and to acknowledge a major life transition for our graduands. For many here, it will mark an end to one stage of life in some form of formal education and the beginning of another in the world of work. In my limited time, I want to briefly speak to two themes which I believe are very important and relevant to this occasion: friendship and innovation. Universities are special institutions which bring people together from diverse backgrounds and places, all with different ideas, experiences, and interests. They allow our students to form friendships, but also to learn how to work and interact with people from very different backgrounds to themselves. This is very valuable for us as individuals, but also for wider society. I know that the friendships and connections I formed during my time at university have endured more strongly than many made before or since. I'm sure that many of you will have made similar enduring relationships while here at Southampton, which may well turn out to be the most lasting consequence of your time with us. Do look around and value the connections you have made and the shared experiences enjoyed while you have been here. This concept of unity and connection is also of wider, long-term importance as we tackle global challenges, including maintaining peace in our world, which never seems more precious than just at the moment. These imperatives require us to work together, bringing any cultural differences to make the world a better place. Early experience of this at university is particularly valuable. On innovation, I'm adamant that as Vice President for Research and Enterprise, I do have the best job in this university, as I spend much of my time working with and supporting amazing people doing utterly amazing things across the full range of the university's academic disciplines. We are a remarkable and diverse university community. We also have an extraordinary record of achievement in our research and its positive impact in the world. Within my role, I've also seen an increased appetite among our students for engaging in entrepreneurial activities, which excites me immensely and gives me great grounds for optimism. When I arrived at Southampton, unbelievably 21 years ago, having spent 15 years in the United States in industry and universities, I observed that there at graduation, the students who were viewed as having the coolest first job were those going off to be employee number one at a startup. While in the UK at that time, the kudos would go to those going to work for a large established organisation. It feels as though the UK is changing rapidly in this respect, and there is now a greatly increased awareness of opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship. Over the past decade, we have seen an increased demand from our students to help them explore their entrepreneurial potential, whether it is part of our UK Champion Enactus team, through our Social Impact Lab, the Student Hub, or our tech incubator, Future Worlds. I believe that there are particularly important contributions made by students from all of the schools represented here. There's also been an exponential increase in student startup companies. In many cases, these activities draw on and interact with our research and educational activities. Indeed, some of you may be involved in exciting enterprise activities or plan to start your own business just as soon as you remove your cap and gown at the end of our celebrations today. And so I leave you with some advice that combines my two themes. Dare to be entrepreneurial and value the diversity of your friendships and collaborations. Whatever you go on to do, give yourself permission to think differently, work with others, and challenge the status quo. Innovation is particularly important. The UK continues to face many problems that require entrepreneurial solutions. Equally, the world needs innovative solutions to many pressing global challenges, and I am confident that you, our graduates and alumni, will be among the leaders and thinkers addressing these issues. So enough from me. So here's to you, our students, our graduates, soon to be our graduates, our alumni and our future. Let's now continue with today's celebrations by welcoming you into the next stage of your lives. Warmest congratulations to you all.
I'm Ali Tavasoli. I'm Professor of Chemical Biology at the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering. I'm also Chief Scientific Officer of Curve Therapeutics, which is a University of Southampton startup company. Vice President, honorary guests, members of the academic community, proud families, and graduating students. It is my great pleasure to introduce our honorary graduate, Professor Dame Margaret Bribble. Margaret is a pioneering chemist, a global scientific leader, a medicine maker, and a proud alumnus of the University of Southampton. Dame Margaret is recognized around the world for her outstanding contributions to organic chemistry and medicinal chemistry. She has published over 700 papers and 50 patents, and is executive editor of Organic Letters, which is a leading international journal in our field. Her research bridges synthetic chemistry, biology, and pharmaceutical development. Margaret's scientific journey began in Auckland, in New Zealand, where she first discovered a passion for science as a young student. After completing her BSc and MSc with first-class honors at the University of Auckland, she was awarded a Commonwealth Scholarship, and she chose to come to Southampton to pursue her doctoral studies. Margaret's time at Southampton would prove formative, both scientifically and personally. Margaret came to Southampton with her husband, Mark, who's in the audience today. Here at the School of Chemistry, Margaret undertook research in natural product synthesis, working on making challenging marine antibiotics. And even in those early days, Margaret's work stood out for the technical sophistication and excellence that's continued throughout her career. Margaret's role in Southampton extended beyond just her scientific studies. She was also warden of St. Margaret's House, and that's a position that reflects her instinct for mentorship and her commitment to her community. She returned to New Zealand with a doctorate in hand and began a career that would see her become a trailblazer in drug discovery, and one of the most decorated scientists in her country's history. She's now a distinguished professor and chair of organic chemistry at the University of Auckland and director of its medicinal chemistry program. Her work has earned her some of the most prestigious accolades in science globally. She is the recipient of the Royal Society of Chemistry's Davy Medal in 2023, which was awarded for her outstanding contribution to chemistry, and the American Chemical Society's Ernst Gunther Award for natural product chemistry. She's also received the Iris Lee Pedler Award and the International IUPAC Distinguished Women in Chemistry Award, and her home country's highest scientific honors, the Rutherford, the Hector, and the McDermott medals. In 2018, Margaret was elected Fellow of the Royal Society, a rare historic achievement, making her the first New Zealand-based woman to be entered into that esteemed body. She's also L'Oreal UNESCO Women in Science Laureate, and in recognition of her services to science, she was appointed Dame Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit. But Margaret's most extraordinary scientific achievement is the development of the drug trophytonide, now marketed as Dayblu, which in 2023 became the first FDA-approved treatment for Rett syndrome, a rare but devastating neurodevelopmental disorder that primarily affects girls. Now, I cannot overstate the significance of this achievement. It's the desire to change people's quality of life and extend the life of ill people that drives most medicinal chemists on a day-to-day basis. And there is no higher achievement than delivering a molecule into the market that helps people. But Margaret and the team aren't done yet. They have a second molecule now in phase 2 clinical trials for multiple neurological diseases. So quite simply put, she is one of the most influential scientists of her generation, and we at Southampton are lucky to call her one of our own. Vice President, I have the honor to present distinguished Professor Dame Margaret Brimble as eminently worthy of the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Vice President, distinguished guests, faculty, graduates, and their family and friends. I'm truly humbled to accept this honorary degree of Doctor of Science degree from the University of Southampton. Returning to this campus where my journey as a scientist really began is both an honor and a truly emotional moment in my life. As a young 21-year-old student, I arrived at Southampton from Auckland in the middle of the UK winter, left behind the warm, humid New Zealand summer. I'd never left New Zealand before, and I hadn't even travelled to the South Island of New Zealand. But in those days, a handful of New Zealand's high-achieving graduates were offered Commonwealth scholarships to undertake postgraduate study in the UK. And I was a little bit anxious about my future journey as a PhD student in chemistry at Southampton, but I was really grateful that New Zealand was part of the Commonwealth and that I could benefit from the Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme. So when I arrived at Southampton University, I was really relieved to find the language of chemistry was the same in the UK as what I'd actually learned as an undergraduate on the other end of the world at Auckland University. I was also pleasantly surprised to find a very supportive atmosphere, and the School of Chemistry welcomed me as a Kiwi student, in spite of my antipathy and accent. And I was impressed by the community of thinkers and mentors and friends who instilled in me the courage to ask bold questions and the resilience to keep going when my experiments weren't working. At this young age, I could never have imagined where chemistry would take me, and I attribute my scientific career to those formative years as a PhD student, where I received an outstanding education. Those PhD years shaped my approach to research. They deepened my passion for discovery, and perhaps most importantly, they showed me that science is a truly human endeavour. It is mainly about people and relationships, about mentoring, collaboration, and creating knowledge that can change lives. And these values became the pillar upon which I went on to build my own independent research group. So I really want to thank the University of Southampton for this extraordinary recognition. It means so much to me to receive this honour from the institution where my scientific career was ignited. I've always had a soft spot for Southampton. I call it my second home. Both the city and the university and our family have always been and will always remain loyal Saints supporters. And to the graduates here today, you're stepping into a world that needs your insight. It needs your creativity and your integrity. Whether your future lies in the lab, in policy, in industry, or beyond, never underestimate the impact that you can have. Science is international, and it has the power to bridge borders, to heal and to inspire. And you can now all play a role in that process. And so in closing, I'd like to dedicate this honour to the next generation of chemists. May you always be curious, may you never stop learning, and may you use your knowledge to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Paul Duckmanton. I'm the Deputy Head of School Education in the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering. Vice President, I submit to you the candidates from the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences for the awards of Bachelor of Science, Master of Chemistry, Master of Engineering, Master of Physics, Master of Science, and Doctor of Philosophy. The names of the candidates from the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences are shown in the programme, and I ask that you admit them to their awards.
I admit them and those in absentia to their awards.
Vice President, I now present the candidates from the School of Chemistry. Vice President, I present to you the following Bachelors of Science. Maria Bull. Eve Townsend. Aoife Coleman. Imogen Daniel. Chloe Marie May Foster. Mitchell Gom. Alison Maria Gould. Theodore James Head. Neve Jenkins. Kang Di Liao. Nomagogu Moyo. Amber Rose Nixon. Lewis Patrick. Matthew Rowley. Anna Lauren Shepherd. Lewis Jack Stanley Cartwright. Jamie Stearman. Joshua Chung. Lucy Thong. Junaid Gurung. Jasmine Nassar. Jonathan Boyan Chang. Thai. Lin Jiang. Chandan Mandar. Joseph Murphy. Alexander Russell. And Lewis Tinsley. Vice President, I present to you the following Masters of Chemistry. Sarah Katerina Madeira. Lauren Ann Rowe. Harvey Cook. Johan Alejandro Hadfield Chacha. Jennifer Hughes. Elena Rose Jack. Finn Ledwidge. Sharice Armati. Nathan Clifford. Mariko Annabelle Cook. Erin Jackie Garcia. Amelia Jade Gutteridge. Sara Honskusova. Jordan Ashlyn James. Archie Jardine. Benjamin Chi Hin Pang. Misha Chandrakant Patel. Kate Ellen Snowsill. Devendran Buchanan Spagnoletti. Eleanor Charlotte Sutton. Daniel Christopher Williams. Lauren Cheney. Vice President, I present to you the following Masters of Engineering. Matthew Joshua Berry. Albin Benoy. Ryan Janali. Kit Irvin Narito. Melissa May Saini. Richard Vinnie. Vice President, I present to you the following Doctors of Philosophy. For a thesis entitled Crystal Structure Prediction of Energetic Materials, Joseph Edward Arnold. For a thesis entitled Supercritical Fluid Chromatography Mass Spectrometry for the Analysis of Agrochemicals and Formulated Products, Rebecca Louise Baker. For a thesis entitled Operando XES and HERFD Zane Studies of Prussian Blue Analog Battery Materials, Oliver Frederick Blackman. For a thesis entitled Chemical Languages, Algorithms for Compression, Parsing and Transmission of Information, Michael Blakey. For a thesis entitled Developing the Application of the Crystalline Sponge Method, Robert Christopher Carroll. For a thesis entitled The Theory and Methodology of Nuclear Spins Diffusing Through Porous Media, Topaz Alaska Alice Cartledge. For a thesis entitled Novel Electrolyte Materials for Rechargeable Magnesium Metal Batteries, Megan Rebecca Dorr. For a thesis entitled The Hitchhiker's Guide to Mechanical Stereochemistry, Peter Robert Gallagher. For a thesis entitled Transforming Data to Understanding and Knowledge for the Sequencing of Therapeutic Oligonucleotides by Mass Spectrometry, Fabian Hanauer. For a thesis entitled The Synthesis of Birefringent Chromophores for Optoelectronic Applications, Jodie Violet Hemingway. For a thesis entitled Modular DNA Nanopore, NP, for Targeted Cell Killing, Tina Tien Ho. For a thesis entitled Investigations into the Flow Photochemical Generation of Triplet aryl cations and the Development of a Practicable Synthesis of Electroluminescent Ionic 2,2-bifluorines, Edward Henry Jackman. For a thesis entitled Characterizing the Beta-Catenine Interactome Using Novel Interaction Proteomic Techniques and Small Molecule Inhibitor Screen, Steve Shahood-John. For a thesis entitled Operando Detection of Gas Evolution from Lithium-Ion Batteries, Liam Liu. For a thesis entitled Transition Metal and Group 13 Tri-Aza Macrocyclic Complexes, Coordination, Chemistry and Applications of 18-Fluorine PET Imaging, Charlie, Nicole, Suzanne O'Callaghan. For a thesis entitled Development and Application of Grand Canonical Non-Equilibrium Candidate Monte Carlo for In Silico Prediction of Ligand Binding Sites, Modes and Affinities, William Poole. For a thesis entitled Permanganate-Mediated Enantioselective Oxidative Cyclization of 1,5 and 1,4-diene Systems, Nikita Sureshbhai Rank. For a thesis entitled Combining X-ray Free Electron Laser Probes of Chemical Dynamics, Veronica Olympia Rasmus. For a thesis entitled Organic-Inorganic Hybrid Thermoelectric Materials for Energy Harvesting Applications, Saeed Zulfikar Hussain Shah. For a thesis entitled Operando X-ray Studies of Gas Evolving and Consuming Catalysts, Connor Matthew Sherwin. For a thesis entitled Synthesis of Functional Polyaromatic Heterocycles and Their Material Applications, Ashley Shields. For a thesis entitled Kinetic Studies of Metal Hexacyanoferrate Electrode Using Energy Dispersive XAFs, Thomas Simon Andrew Wakelin. For a thesis entitled Electrodeposition of 3D Nanostructured Materials Using a Lytropic Liquid Crystal Template, Joshua White. For a thesis entitled Understanding the Nature and Origin of Fuel Powertrain Deposits by the Use of High-Resolution Chromatography and Mass Spectrometry, Molly Linda Wilson. For a thesis entitled Large-Scale Density Functional Theory Simulations of Lanthanide and Actinide Oxide Materials, Nabil Anwar. And for a thesis entitled The Topological and Geometric Data Analysis of Organic Crystal Systems, Jack Doyle.
Good afternoon. I'm Professor Sebastian Honig. I'm the head of School Physics and Astronomy. Vice President, I'm proud and honored to present to you the candidates from the School of Physics and Astronomy. Vice President, I present to you the following Bachelors of Science. Alexander Payne. Rory Allison. William Arms. Thomas Arneson. Louis Ascott. Emma Barlow. Jay Bruckshaw. Cleo Bitici. Rosie Cooper. Ethan Durant. Ismael Santiago El Caudi Morcillo. Yu Ning Zoe Fong. Mateo Fuentes. Samuel Fodder. Morgan John Glass. Edward Hubbard. Aaron Jacobs. Tarun Krishnakumar. August Lala. Stuart Lewis. Gianpiero Liras. Félix Olivier Marceau. Dishant Pankaj Mafji. Caleb Neal. James O'Donoghue. Thomas Ojuela Cortez. Vijay Ramesh Patel. Ria Simran Kaur Sahib. Krish Shaw. Despina Spirou. Benjamin Stout. Gile Sun. Ethan Trix. Edward Wildman. Vice President, I present to you the following Masters of Physics. Vina Bukvarova. Claudia Peter. Duncan James Bowden. Joshua Early. Alice Benjamin Jones. Adam Smith Caritero. Grace Barrington. Lauren Christine Lynn Eastman. João Carlos Shimura Gomez de Almeida. Philip Bacchus. Theodore David Hurd Madden. Connor Joins. Andries Verhege. Amelia N. Ford. Robert Morrison. Miles Murphy. Theo Lucas Smith. Ben Thomas Eichen. Corinne Amira Besky. William James Brookman. Harry Baker Charlesworth. Anna Cox. Archie Davidson. Harsh Dhananjay Desai. Thomas Edward Flory. Alyssa Sorrell. Prem Tiptaft. Robert Adrian Vucevic. Theo David Wildman. Ronnie Knobs. George Clemens. Frederick Nicholas Frame. Ewan Robert Macmillan. Ola Menzies. Jake William Hall Breeze. Jack Atherton. Latushan Bhaskaran. Aman Pala. Kate Elizabeth Callaghan. Daniel James Cook. Anja Daisy Culverhouse. Simran Kaur Dillon. Jessica Ewing. Victoria Oluwaseun Badegesin. Timothy George Hall. Samin Hamid. Anna Rose Healy. Erin Jude Hollington. Elliot William Hunt. Louis Kay. Joseph Kefford. Zain Ahmed Khan. Sultan Komar. Dominika Silvia Kubanek. Jacob Alexander Marsh. Jack Franklin Maynard. Phoenix MacArthur. Craig Owens. Harrison Bobby Parker. Callum James Riley. Charles Smith. Reese Connor Thompson. Kevin Titus. Katiralan Vahisam. Vice President, I present to you the following Doctors of Philosophy. For a thesis entitled Nanoscale Metamaterials Tailored for Optical and Mechanical Applications, Thomas Frank. For a thesis entitled Expanding the Physics Reach of Tune in the Near and Far Detectors, Francisco Martinez Lopez. For a thesis entitled Dissecting the Origin of Obscuration in AGN via Comprehensive Semi-Analytical and Semi-Empirical Orientation and Evolutionary Models, Alba Vega Alonso Tetia. For a thesis entitled Terahertz Time Domain Spectroscopy for Characterization of Photoconductive Layers of Nonlinear Soft Matter Systems, Benjamin Beddoes. For a thesis entitled Applications of Non-Perturbative Renormalization for Lattice QCD, Rashnandini Mukherjee. Right. For a thesis entitled A Study of Beam Meson to Pion and Strange Beam Meson to Kaon Form Factors Using Dispersive Constraints, Callum James Radley Scott. For a thesis entitled Single Photon Level Atomic Frequency Cone Quantum Memory in Warm Rubidium Vapor, Zachary Schofield. For a thesis entitled Perturbative and Non-Perturbative Renormalization of Quantum Field Theories and Gravity, Delius Stolga. For a thesis entitled Investigating Jet Physics through Machine Learning Enhanced Representation Space, Giorgio Serro. For a thesis entitled Tales of Dual Dances, Observational Studies of Accretion Flows in Compact Binaries, Maria Giorganti. And finally, for a thesis entitled The Effect of Environment on the Properties of Type 1a Supernovae, Marcus Toy.
Good evening. I think it's late enough in the day to say good evening. Great to see everybody bearing up under this wonderful weather, which has seeped its way into the hall. Graduation is a highlight of the year for me. It's a privilege to be able to sit up here and see the students woke up with pride and joy in their faces and their demeanour, but also, of course, to hear the clapping, the cheering, the whistling coming from the audience. So last week I was in the audience myself for my daughter's graduation in a different city, and I know what it's like as a parent to sit there, see your child graduating. My name is Michael Butler. I'm Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences. So we've got students from two different faculties graduating today. We'll hear from, see the students from the Faculty of Social Sciences in a moment. But I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate the students from our faculty. So on behalf of all of my colleagues in the faculty, we're really proud of what you've achieved. We know that you worked really hard to get here. And we're also pleased that you chose to study here at and research at the University of Southampton. So we've got two wonderful schools with excellent academics and excellent facilities, and you will have benefited from that excellent education and mentoring, and been exposed to excellent research across the schools. Indeed, those of you who are graduating with PhDs today will have contributed directly to that research, and we're really grateful for those contributions. And I'd just like to say, I think Paul and Seb did a fantastic job reading out those thesis titles. It's quite a challenge, so well done. So I'd like to mention a few highlights from both of those schools this year. So two of our academics in physics and astronomy, Sasha Believ and Stefano Moretti, were part of a large experimental team at the world's largest particle collider, CERN, that won a large $3 million breakthrough prize. It got shared out between a lot of people. A team of students led by, and staff led by Professor Hendrik Ulbricht will be launching a quantum gravity experiment on the first rocket lifting up from the new UK space station in Scotland. And then in chemistry and chemical engineering, Professor Sumit Mahajan and his team have developed a diagnostic test for dementia, which is a breakthrough that promises to allow for earlier and more accurate detection of neurodegenerative diseases. We're playing our part in sustainability, and the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering have been rolling out LEAF accreditation, which is a national framework for improving laboratory sustainability. So we're really proud of that. So students from our faculty, you're graduating with advanced skills in engineering and physical sciences, but more broadly, strengthened ability to acquire and apply knowledge to solve real-world problems, and these qualities will serve you well in any sphere that you choose to work in. So as you join our university's alumni community, we want you to stay in touch, and it's important to remember that you will always be a part of the community of your school, whether that's physics and astronomy or chemistry and chemical engineering. We do hope that you'll stay in touch as you set along the next stages of your journey. We're excited to see what lies ahead of you. We know that you will make a difference in the world and to the people that surround you. So congratulations once again.
Good afternoon. My name is Professor Kasia Zdunczyk, and I'm the Associate Dean Education at University of Southampton Business School. Vice President, I submit to you the candidates from the Faculty of Social Sciences for the awards of Bachelor of Science, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science, Master of Science in the Social Sciences. The names of the candidates from the Faculty of Social Sciences are shown in the program, and I ask you to admit them to their awards.
I admit them and those in absentia to their awards.
Vice President, I now present the candidates from economics. Vice President, I present to you the following Masters of Science. Xian Chu. Zhao Hao Xue. Vice President, I now present the candidate from gerontology. Vice President, I present to you the following Master of Science in the Social Sciences. Pearl Lovelyn Lawson. Vice President, I now present the candidates from the School of Mathematical Sciences. Vice President, I present to you the following Bachelor of Science. Kai-Chuan Yang. Vice President, I now present the candidates from the University of Southampton Business School. Vice President, I present to you the following Bachelors of Science. Ying Ying Lei. Hang Su. Ella Newnham. Anuel Adunasaya. Vice President, I present to you the following Masters of Business Administration. Hanlin Ho. Shri Singh. Vice President, I present to you the following Masters of Science. Yufan Wang. Lulu Li. Ihan Meng. Shiraj Praveen Bagade. Sukritri Shivasava. Aparna Agrawal. Prachi Anil Biradar. Asmit Ravindra Gadre. Risu Maria Jose. Aditya Mohan Gatti. Samhita Prashant. Samhita Prashant. Previously we had some Vaishnavi Rajendra Kati. Narayan Singh Purushottam Singh. Ria Dhananjay Wagmare. Nufaiza Yunus. Rohan. Hui Li. Siti Lara Olivia. Damatat Padistril. Sara Ibrahim Al-Kunaifir. Zhen Yu Tang. Yu Jing Li. Nimisha Ramesh Kumar. Dheeraj Marupuri. Ji Lu. Parul Sharma. Natapong Suklung. Divya Tanwa. Yiming Shah. Vinod Kumar Irudayar. Rohit Nair. Sneha Wadwa. Shiju. Omkar Derange, Rubal Gupta, Lanjing Lu, Miao Yang, Huiting Zhang, Kristi Nishanant Sugritanantam, Hani Kong, Zehua Zhang, Yingxiang Feng,
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Costanzo, a Dean of the University of Southampton Business School. As a Dean, I want to take this moment to offer you the warmest of congratulations. All of you here today have achieved something remarkable in your time at the University of Southampton. We feel a great sense of pride in the class of 2025, not just for your academic achievements, but also for the individual qualities that you have brought, dynamism, determination, and passion for your subject. Above all, we hope that you have enjoyed your time here. Today is about celebrating the good times. Firstly, as a University of Southampton graduate, please feel proud that you are now part of our 162-year history. Having begun life as the more humble Hartley Institution in Southampton city centre in 1862, the university is now world renowned with 9 campuses, 7 in the UK, 1 in Malaysia, and 1 in Delhi in India that just opened. This is your university. Many years ago, I was walking across the University of Leeds graduation stage to receive my PhD degree, just as you are here today. A lot has changed since then, but the feelings I experienced that day will likely be no different for you today. Studying business is about great teamwork using innovation, creativity, the sense of building something better, envisioning the future, and inventing new ways to improve the way we live. During your time here, your school has been in constant transformation. I am proud to announce that the Southampton Business School, or former SBS, as you know it very well, has recently been rebranded as the University of Southampton Business School, or USBS shortly, to highlight our strong position as a part of a Russell Group top 100 university in the world. This year, the Business School was honored to host the university's Business Challenge final, and one of our undergraduate teams really went on to win the national competition. We are proud to say that the trophy now sits proudly within our school. Our careers, employability, placement, and alumni relations team is ranked 3rd in the UK for the HE Careers and Employability Team of the Year at the National Graduate Recruitment Awards 2025. In our state-of-the-art building, we have hosted the Successful Leaders and Entrepreneurs in Residence Network, bringing together high-profile business leaders and entrepreneurs who have come to share their experience with our students and academics. We care about the success of our students, and whilst they are here, supported by our talented academics, we have empowered them to become successful leaders and entrepreneurs. One of our alumni, Kaushal Shah, has been guided by our academics to launch a successful global enterprise. Kaushal is now listed in Forbes Under 30. We empower student enterprise, and we are proud to share that the student-led startup mytender.io has secured a £250,000 investment to grow their AI-driven bid writing platform. Business school student entrepreneur Samuel Arun innovative tool is transforming tendering in the construction and the facility management sectors. Universities are fundamentally all about people, and here at the University of Southampton, we take great pride in our diverse community of staff and students from all walks of life and every corner of the globe. On these days, students often remark how quickly their time here has gone, but in that seemingly short period of time, we recognize an enormous difference in you. You have acquired a great reserve of both academic and personal skills, some that you probably don't even recognize in yourself. These skills will serve you in the next phase of your life. Finally, you, as our alumni, are our best ambassadors and assets. Even as we wish you every success in the future, we look forward to staying in touch and hearing of your progress. So it's the time now. Let's make some noise for all University of Southampton Business School and all the other students that are also here from the faculty, from FEPS, past, present, and future. Let's celebrate the ambition you all share in working to make the world a better place. Congratulations to all of you, and let's put all our hands together for a big applause to all our fantastic graduates.
We're nearly there. Now that you have all had your moment on our stage, there is much to do, many hugs to be had, photos to take, and glasses to raise. And so I'll keep this part of the ceremony as brief as possible. While this is very much your day, our now graduates, isn't that a good word? Let's also take a moment to thank the people who have been here for you along the way. Your family, your friends, your support networks, your tutors, and some of whom may be on the stage today. So I invite you, our graduates, to offer a round of applause for those who supported you to get to where you are today. Thank you. Heartfelt, but your applause is just between you and those hugs and drinks. I would also like to thank you, our graduates. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and your bright minds. Thank you for all that you will go on to do. You are now part of our extensive alumni community. There are in fact over 300,000 of you, spanning over 185 countries and overseas territories. It seems that when we tell you to take over the world upon graduation, you really do take it literally. You are joining people who are actively working against the climate crisis, fighting for social justice, and helping to save lives. You're joining journalists, scientists, entrepreneurs, members of the armed forces, and artists. You're joining tens of thousands of Southampton graduates who are making a difference in small ways every single day. Your alumni community is invaluable, and so I ask that you use your place within it as much as you can. Learn from others, make connections, and keep in touch. I'd urge you to consider giving back too. Becoming a mentor, for example, is a wonderful way of ensuring that another Southampton student can benefit from your experiences. Most importantly, the alumni community is there to support you. You are never alone in your endeavours. Finally, I'd like to ask all of you, all of us here assembled, to recognise our graduates' achievements. Now let's please make some noise. Congratulations. Thank you. I now formally declare this ceremony closed.